Howdy, Eagles. Praying for you. Hope and pray that each and every one of you has stayed safe and well in this season, and that God would continue to provide for each and every one of you. I know that a lot of people have been impacted by this, and we're still praying for so many. Um, it's kind of crazy that it's almost the end of the school year already. We only have just a few more days before we're done. So finish strong and hang in there. Want to direct your attention to Nehemiah. He was he's a character. He has a book named after him. It's kind of in the middle of the Old Testament, and he was a cupbearer for a foreign king. He and his people were exiles. They were not in their homeland, and he finds out some absolutely terrible news about his home. Now, this is not new news by any stretch of the imagination, but he found out, and when he did, he reacted. So there's a couple things I want us to take away from Nehemiah, and we'll go over them more in depth as we get to them. But Nehemiah responded, okay? He prayed, and then finally he did something about it. Okay, so I want us to take a look at this and then see how we can apply this to our lives. So let's take a look at the word. Nehemiah chapter 1, verse 4 through 11. As soon as I heard these words, I sat down and wept and mourned for days, and I continued fasting and praying before God of heaven. And I said, O Lord God of heaven, the great and awesome God, who keeps covenant and steadfast love with those who love him and keep his commandments, let your ear be attentive and your eyes open to hear the prayer of your servant, that I now pray before you day and night for the people of Israel, your servants, confessing the sins of the people of Israel, which we have sinned against you. Even I and my father's house have sinned. We have acted very corruptly against you, and have not kept the commandments, the statutes, and the rules that you commanded your servant Moses. Remember the word that you commanded your servant Moses, saying, If you are unfaithful, I will scatter you among the peoples. But if you return to me and keep my commandments and do them, though your outcasts are in the uttermost parts of the heaven, from there I will gather them and bring them to the place that I have chosen to make my name dwell there. They are your servants and your people, whom you have redeemed by your great power and by your strong hand. O Lord, let your ear be attentive to the prayer of your servant and to the prayer of your servants who delight to fear your name, and give success to your servant today. Grant him mercy in the sight of this man. So Nehemiah finds himself in kind of a precarious situation where he is serving the kingdom that wrought destruction on his own homeland. And so his heart is broken, but his first response is to fast and to pray. He seeks the Lord and he prays. Now, the way that he prays is important. He's reminding God of his own promises, one. He's praying and asking God to make good on those promises. He's also admitting that he's a sinner. He's admitting that not only he has sinned, but an entire people, all of Israel, have sinned against God. And so he's coming to God, reminding God of his promises, confessing his sin, and asking the Lord straight up, Lord, please make good on your promise. Restore us. Make us the people that you want us to be, and restore Israel to the nation that it was supposed to be. And so part of the problem, part of what Nehemiah saw, was that the walls were torn down. There were no walls around the city of Israel, and in this city of Jerusalem, and in this particular day and time, if your city didn't have walls, it wasn't a city. The enemy could just walk right in, or for that matter, wild animals could just walk right in and just take people out. And so what was once considered a holy city, what was once the seat of God, if you will, at his temple, there is nothing. It's just rubble, it's ruins. And so his heart is broken, and so he's asking the Lord for opportunity to do something. He has sought the Lord, recognized who he is, and reminded him of his promises. He has confessed his sin and is confessing even the sins of the other people around him. But then also he's asking the Lord for opportunity. He's asking for a chance to be able to go in and be that guy. And so we see it throughout the rest of the book of Nehemiah that he does go on to do that. And so my challenge to you is that in this season of weird and, pray and ask the Lord that you might be the person through which God provides for someone else. Pray and ask the Lord that you can have opportunities to do his kingdom work, even in the midst of this weird chaos. Can you do it? I think you can. Praying for each of you. Hope and pray that God gives you opportunity to do his kingdom work, even in this crazy, weird time. God bless.